I've got a bit more of this statement coming across from Gareth Southgate. I joined the FA in 2011, determined to improve English football. In that time, including 8 years as England's men's manager, I've been supported by some brilliant people who have my heartfelt thanks. I could not have had anyone better alongside me than Steve Holland. He's one of the most talented coaches of his generation and has been immense. I have had the privilege of leading a large group of players in 102 games. Every one of them has been proud to wear the 3 lions on their shirt, and they've been a credit to their country in so many ways. The squad we took to Germany is full of exciting young talent, and they can win the trophy we all dream of. I'm so proud of them. I hope we get behind the players and the team at St George's Park and the FA, who strive every day to improve English football and understand the power football has to drive positive change. My special thanks go to the backroom staff who have provided the players and me with unstinting support over the last 8 years. Their hard work and commitment inspired me every day, and I'm so grateful to them. The brilliant team behind the team, he says. We have the best fans in the world, and their support has meant the world to me. I'm an England fan, and I always will be. I look forward to watching and celebrating as the players go on to create more special memories and to connect and inspire the nation as we know they can. Thank you, England, for everything. Well, Rob Harris is able to join us now, and I just bring you, Rob, once again, the opening line of Gareth Southgate's statement, saying it's been the honour of his life to play for England and to manage England. It's meant everything to him, and he's given it his all. But it's time for change and a new chapter. Rob, it seems from this statement, from what everything crossing, this is a decision that Gareth Southgate has made personally.
Yes, very unusual perhaps in football, where it's the manager's decision himself whether or not to stay on rather than his own bosses. But everything had been pointing to Gareth Southgate's reign ending after this tournament. I interviewed him in Germany on Friday, and he told me about the emotional roller coaster that he'd been through as he was weighing up his own future. Then on Sunday, post-match in Berlin, live on air, I revealed that I'd heard he wanted a break. And now this is the break he's decided to take from football. He's steps aside from England after 8 very transformative years. He's been very concerned about the level of abuse and criticism he faced during the Euros in Germany. And he believed that actually people perhaps were forgetting just where he'd taken them. And he told me again on Friday that he believes he's helped to restore the credibility of English football, because as we step back at this moment and Gareth Southgate leaves the job after 102 games in 8 years, he took the men's team to highs not experienced since 1966 and Sir Alf Ramsey. 3 semi-finals in 4 tournaments, back-to-back finals, fine margins costing England in both of those finals. On Sunday in Berlin, it was a superior Spain side who got the better of them with a 2-1 victory 3 years ago at Wembley. It was Italy who beat them on penalties in the final. And there will be those who question perhaps his caution and when he decided to make changes in matches and perhaps sticking with certain players like Harry Kane on Sunday for too long. But ultimately, he has given the fans highs that they had not been used to experiencing following the England team. And when some might consider, why do we sort of dwell on this so much? Even when you sort of talk to someone like Gareth Southgate and those in football, there are a few jobs with the profile of that of England manager and the status and how it brings the nation together. Watching the England teams, the fact is these are matches like the final watched by more than 20 million people in the country. Few things can bring the country together like a tournament football match. But certainly he's now said that he believes it is time for a change, and that reflects the fact he'd been sort of sensing that strained bond, I think, with the fans throughout the tournament in Germany.
Rob, talk to me about the way in which he united the players, which I think is fair to say for much of otherwise this century, there was a lot of division in the ranks when England players got together. But in doing so, also united the fans. And it's interesting that we're talking about some of the disappointments, and clearly no trophy has been won. But each of these 4 tournaments he's taken England to haven't been followed up with the same sense of despondency and, I guess, aggressive calls for change at the top, highlighted by the fact that he is the one deciding to go.
Yes, we got used to England at tournaments stumbling out, leading to sort of calls for overhauls of the game. We need to remember where England were as a men's team when Gareth Southgate took over. At Euro 2016, had just been embarrassed by Iceland, knocked out in the last 16. Then we had the whole saga of Sam Allardyce taking charge for 1 game before being caught out in an undercover newspaper sting. And Gareth Southgate himself had ruled himself out initially of replacing Roy Hodgson after Euro 2016, believing he lacked the experience to step up from being under 21's manager. He stepped in an initial basis, and really at a time of turmoil amongst one of the first things he actually said as England manager was he likes football, but perhaps not the industry that much. But he certainly made an impact and did bring the team together. We had the cliques of the past, it seemed, with certain club groupings. There was even a sense of players not wanting to turn up for international duty. Then on international duty, players even reluctant to face the media. He did actually create a better environment, including media-player relations, bringing in some techniques more familiar with American sports about trying to sort of bring the media and players closer together. And of course, ultimately, it's about results. And it was that unexpected run at the 2018 World Cup to the semi-finals. Gareth Southgate in his waistcoat, that endeared him to the nation, the team to the nation. They even won a penalty shootout on the way in the last 16. And that perhaps showed that there can be this affection with the national team again. And it was particularly notable because it was that unifying impact of the England team around 2018 at a time of political division, all those Brexit votes through Parliament, which was something Gareth Southgate would often reflect about him being and the team being this sort of unifying force while the country was so divided after the 2016 referendum. And then also he had to deal with various societal and social issues, including players being racially abused. And he was someone who was able to sort of be a sort of comforting figure around that period and as well around the pandemic. So there has often been a sense that people might not appreciate what the contribution Gareth Southgate made to the England team until he's left it, because he had to take on a leadership role far beyond just being a coach in the dugout.